Welcome to the Self-Love Podcast. I am your host, Kylie Nzwana. No, wait. Look at that. Welcome to the Self-Love Podcast, and I am your host, Ritu Nzwana. And today I want to talk about something that I feel like it has been spoken about, but I haven't spoken about it, so it hasn't been spoken about enough. I want to speak about being productive with ADHD, or attention deficit disorder. The reason why I bring this up because ADD is cute and all when you are just a child living under your mother's house, when you are just a person going through the motions of life and figuring things out on your own. But then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when you have to take up roles like being someone who's full-time employed, or starting a business, or being a parent, or being someone's boyfriend or husband, because it does affect you. It does take away precious time, and in some instances it can make you into a bad person. For example, with myself, it wasn't really much of a problem. I did not even know that I had it, or I had forgot about it, that I had it, until I was around 18 and I was going to do my grade 12 exams, and so I have anxiety and attention deficit. Fun, the triple threat. Oh, the triple threat, but yeah, it's fun. So I have this thing and I'm trying to now it was fine. I mean, in high school it's normal because high school is very low pressure, and the way I did high school, it was very fun. There was no much pressure. There was nothing much because I was homeschooled, and whatever pressure I had would be self-created. So I went from a place of not really having exams to a place now where you need to leave your home and go outside and write exams, and it got stressful. It got very stressful, and because I was not sure how to react, I didn't even know. My parents didn't even know how to treat it because they themselves, the era that my parents are from, it's not like everyone had a manual on how to deal with such things, or someone who knew how to make things happen. It was just wing it. It was just don't think about it. So here's the story. It's the first exam. I think I was writing geography. First exam, we're driving there with my mother. I'm panicking. My mother can see me. I'm panicking. I'm fidgeting. My leg is shaking. It's busy. It's a busy morning. We get to the center. I get out the car. I didn't really want to get out the car, but hey, I get out the car, standing with these other kids, and we're just talking about everything. We're talking about the future. We're talking about dreams, all of those things. Everything is being spoken about in this time, and when everything is being spoken about, I find myself in this realm of shit. I don't know anything. We're about to write an exam. I don't know what I'm about to write. I don't know what I'm about to say. I don't know how I should put it, but I am stuck. I am officially lost. I don't know what to do. So I start to feel like there's something inside me building up. Like, it's in an EDM or electro song where the beat stops and then it comes back, but you can feel Gucci. When it comes back, it's about to drop heavy. So I start to feel like that, like stuff are boiling, like a tablet is being dissolved inside me. A lot is happening. It's about to explode, and I'm trying to calm down, but I feel like more and more as this thing keeps on coming up, more and more it becomes harder to breathe, and more it becomes harder to see. And people are talking about this person is panicking there, everyone is doing their thing. I don't know what's happening, and it gets to a point where I now start to ask myself, okay, sharp, what is going on? And then before I could even think about it clearly, I wake up. I am lying down with a glass of sugary water and ginger beer, and I'm trying to figure out what happened. And this person asked me if I'm okay. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel dizzy a bit, but I'm okay. And they asked me, most importantly, do you think you'll be able to write this exam? And for a second I just felt, okay, fine, I can do this thing. get into the exam room. I'm sitting. They are watching me. They are like, they are more concerned about my health. And I didn't even have the English to say, hey, I have this thing, because I had thought that it had finished, because I associated it with stuttering. So I thought that if I stopped stuttering a lot, it meant that it also would stop bothering me, right? Cool. Perfect. So I get into this realm of chap. Let me just chill. Let me sit down. I've got this. I studied this. It's just geography. How bad could it be? We start writing. The first 10 minutes was fine, because it was just filling in your name and relaxing. And I'm also trying to relax myself, and after such a panic attack, you think that, okay, fine, everything is better. Well, in that moment, because I'm a big optimist, I told myself that everything will be fine. And then, we're just chilling. I'm just relaxing. I'm writing my name, putting in my student number. They're checking my stuff. And then they're like, okay, everyone quiet. So in that quietness, I start to use it as a moment of thinking. And my mind starts to race again. I remember, I think that, what is in this paper? What if my pens don't work? What if? And that day I only had 2 pens. What if my pens don't work? What if they say I'm cheating? I don't even know. And then now it's like, what if I'm cheating? And I ask myself, how am I cheating if I haven't done anything? They're like, but thinking of cheating is cheating. And I'm just panicking. It's just a lot of emotions are running in this moment, and I just feel like, okay, sharp, let me just breathe. So you're just trying to breathe, and you're drinking this water, and little faster, and you realize that you don't even have water anymore. You're just now licking an empty glass, and they get you another glass, and it's just a lot of things happening. It was the first time in my life writing these exams, and I just think about my mother and my family who are proud. Oh, so much is happening. We sit down, and they're like, okay, everyone, you can start. We start writing. The first question calms me down. It's fine. I write it. I get through the paper. And I'm like, okay, fuck. I get through the paper. I feel relieved. Just like a huge flash happened. I'm just calm. Then the exams happen, and I start to talk to my mother about this thing, and she tells me, no, you have ADD, ADHD, or whatever you want to call it, and things like that happen. You just need to know how to deal with it better. And she raises a point that, what if you were driving and you had this? And in my mind, I'm like, imagine I would have bumped into someone, So cool. I get out of that and I start to cope with it, and I discover things. I don't discover it for this purpose, but I start to discover marijuana, and obviously you try it here and there. I just quickly realized that this thing makes me tired and hungry, and why would I want to do the 2 things that are irritating the most to fix? Being tired and hungry, because you need to sleep and eat. And so okay, I don't take drugs or weed that serious. I leave them. Fine. I passed matric. Not so well. Well, the first time I wrote matric, I failed it. Probably I failed matric 2 times. 3rd time I passed it. The reasons why I failed matric, it wasn't even close to anxiety and everything. It was just, I was not ready to pass matric. I was not taking school serious, and school did not take me serious. The 3rd time I wrote my exams, I passed it. I was well equipped. I knew what to do and what not to do, and I knew how to breathe, and I was doing my breathing exercise as well. Cool, I passed matric. I feel proud of myself. I go get my license. I'm a man. I am a man. So now it's fine. We get to university. University, we're starting to learn about coping mechanisms. And in university, for me, it felt like school because there was a level of care in the lectures. You expected that tomorrow you need to submit A, B, C, and D. And given the college I was at, the classes were small. So if you don't submit, it looks weird because you're not taking it serious or whatever. But yeah, it felt more schoolish than anything. Homeschooling, I had free reign. No one told me anything. So with this, it helped. I find myself now in a place of, okay, sharp. Let me now be fine with this, Let me just settle in and enjoy the sun. We get into exams. Don't panic much. I write well. I realized that a lot of my anxiety and stress would come because I was underprepared. But it's better when I was more prepared, because it should still be there, but it should be less. But it's worse when I did not prepare at all, you know? So, sharp, we do that. School, I pass. First year, second year, it's nice. I'm happy, I'm coping. And then we had moot court. I had worked on our moot court thing for, I think I can say 3 months or even less. But energy was put in, effort was put in, and then you had to dress up, and it was fake court, but it meant a lot to our work integrated mark. So because I was trying this whole be a child who passes school, I felt like I needed to give my 1000%. So get there, my partner is not that much into school, honestly. They're just hanging out, they're just not doing much, so I get there for the thing. I'm panicked, dog. I'm panicked. And then it happens again. It feels like the wind is suffocating my chest, and I just feel sweaty, clothes feel heavy. I just feel like I could just take off my top, but I don't have enough energy, and a lot of thoughts are running through my mind. And what if I did not bring this? What if I did not bring a tie? What if I'm not dressed well enough? Hey, I think that day I had 1.5 panic attacks. Had that. We did the moot court thing. I did well, but my partner did badly because they did not practice their stuff. So I got frustrated, because what if their thing affects my mark? I go outside to these kids who were sitting outside, and they were having, I think it was some kind of alcohol. I drank that, and then it hits me again that, oh yeah, I need to drive myself home. I can't drive myself drunk. I just had a shot of whatever gin or whiskey they were drinking. But in that moment, it doesn't matter. It all feels like I had a glass. So again, we do it. We panic. And then my friend is like, come over to my house, leave your car here. I will drive you. And when we are done, we'll come back. He made it seem like he's going to fetch something. So we go to his place, and then we get there. He has these, I think it's drags, but it's like a paste kind of version of weed. You put it in a bong. So we hit that, right? Jeez, I remember I put extra, like 2 times worth what you're supposed to take. And all I can say, Gucci, I remember I've smoked weed before, a lot of weed. But what I felt that day, it felt like I had 3 bodies, but it felt like I was around 3 people, and I was in those 3 bodies equally. So like it felt like my upper body was its own body, and then my lower body was its own body, and my head was just floating. And he was like, oh, do you want to drive? I'm like, you see, if you want me to drive, 2 things will happen. It's either the car doesn't move at all, or I park it in someone's yard, or I crash someone. And the high I was feeling, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't stay awake. I just wanted to lie at an angle. Weirdly, I get to school still high as a MF. I asked this guy, dog, please just call me an Uber or drive me home or do whatever. He calls me an Uber. I get home, I relax, it's fine, it's a good day. And in that moment I realized that I'm not going to rely on substances to deal with my anxiety. So I start to channel good energy towards myself. And then that was school. Then we come into being now an adult. Okay, hyper. I won't speak on ADHD on a medical level and bore you with that. If you want that, you could go to a medical podcast and get it. But on my level, it's that how I see it pop up in my life is I have a lot of things on my mind, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, a lot of fears, a lot of happiness. My non-existent fears of the future torture me. My current life excites me, but also brings a fear of what if I lose it. When I was younger, I think I've said this before, I was afraid that my parents would leave for work and never come back, and I would be left to fend on my own. I had two siblings and aunts and uncles around me, but it still felt like that. And today I have a kid. I look at my child and I'm like, my biggest fear is the day when I can't protect you. My biggest fear is the day you discover pain and I can't do anything for it. My biggest fear is me leaving for work and not being able to come back to protect you from whatever is out there. And I always ask myself, what am I protecting this child from? I don't know. I don't know yet, but I know that in the world we live in, there's a lot of things to fear. There's a lot of things to worry about. There's a lot of things not to worry about. But in my situation, I just feel like everything for me is worth the worry. Everyone is worth the worry. And it is not healthy. It is unhealthy to think that you wake up tomorrow and the sky will fall. But literally, I could wake up like that and feel like the world is about to fall and create probably 10,000 scenarios of the world falling, of it possibly falling. Even though I know that it's impossible, but I will find a way to make it possible. And that messes your mind. It messes with you, and it has messed with me a lot in my life. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the known, the fear of the impossible, the fear of the possible. When I was 20, I had the fear of probably dying alone. I had the fear of all these things, and probably I wouldn't have died alone. I'm not gonna die alone. I will die with my podcast. But it's scary, nevertheless. So now you find yourself in this realm of you're trying now to let me go to school, let me get this thing, let me, and then you now put yourself in a working environment. You start to work, you have deadlines. I have deadlines, I have things to do. I forget them because why? A lot of things are running in my mind. So you may tell me that, hey, please print me this document. I will take that, and then something will come into my mind. That will come into my mind. And a lot of things will happen in my mind and around me, and I will think, oh, I have this thing figured out. Kanti, I haven't even done the first thing you asked me. And my mind hasn't even circled back. And probably I will remember when I'm lying down that, oh yeah, I need to get to that thing. But now the weird thing I'm realizing now is I have a lot of stress. I'm stressing about it, and it makes me stress a lot because my attention is everywhere, and a lot of things, because I can create 10 scenarios for everything, those things stress me out. I stress about business, I stress about life, I stress about friends, I stress about myself, I stress about my own immortality, I stress about it all, and I find my heart will just be going at 1,000 kilometers per hour for no reason. You may see me smiling, you may see me happy, but for some odd reason, it just affects my emotions. It might just affect my mind, It's like there's nothing wrong. But when I look at my heart tracking thing, my smartwatch that tells me all the unnecessary information, it tells me that my heart is pounding at a crazy rate. And when I went to the doctor for BP tests, he told me that, hey, it looks like you have a lot of stress. And that time I wasn't even stressing. It's just that my heart was pounding fast because I was stressed. I was worried about what if whatever the doctor is about to read here comes out scary. I'm healthy, I'm fine. I could have probably even jogged to his office, but because that day I just felt like, I'm now like, oh my goodness, what if? And for me, it has not hindered my life. It has not made me any socially awkward. It has It has its goods, it has its bad, it has its great, it has its weirdness. But I've been able to make it work. And I've realized that my productivity with this so-called condition is hampered because even right now, recording this podcast, I have it written on one app. I probably have, in the last year, I've used close to like 6 different to-do list apps. But the thing is, it's easy to have a really good-looking Notion page, well organized. But the work is getting those tasks done, ticking them, saying, "Guti, I finished my job. I did these things." But now, if I'm going to sit here and say, "Oh, okay, hi, it's whatever. Let's just relax and smoke Cubanas and whatever." Well, what does it say about me? What does it say about the person who's because right now I've switched from Notion because Notion doesn't give me notifications on the go that, hey, I need to finish 1, 2, 3. It doesn't pop up on my phone. ClickUp, it sort of does, but I need something to remind me, and I haven't found an app that I can rely on. I can find I've on paper, my Notion is beautiful. I think I have the best Notion accounts, but in terms of practicality, it's not passing. And that is the thing that, I need to fix that. I need to look into it and say, let me fix my life and try to be productive, because the truth of the matter is the only way to unlock crazy amounts of wealth, the only way to unlock crazy amounts of success is to be able to be productive and to be effective. Like, I look at guys like your Ali Abdals and whatever YouTube, Thomas Franks, Nathaniel Drew, so many guys. Those guys don't even look like they waste time breathing. Looks like they have breathing sectioned off in their calendars. And if you could ask me what happened with my day, a lot happens. But the hours when I don't even know what happens. It's like the hours where I black out. I don't even know what happened. So that is how my anxiety, ADHD rather, has impacted my life. That it has changed the way I do the things around me. It is not scary. It's very fun to have, because it makes me a fun person and I have fun with myself. Not in that way, but yeah. I think I will leave today's episode there. I am your host with the most, Ritume Tsinswana, and thank you for listening to the podcast. And shout out to everyone who has liked and subscribed to the podcast. The listeners are growing and growing and growing and growing. This would probably be the 3rd last episode of the year. Next year, it's going to be bigger and greater. Thank you for listening to the podcast.